Relax, the keyboard is off, the press box is closed, and the mic is just getting warmed up as the Guardian of the Blue Paint turned writer is about to enlighten us. The show where the writer is fresh off the presses and the ink is not dry. For this week's show, Flyers Training Camp. What are the expectations for this season? Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. Join Lance and Steel as we bring you all the latest on the Flyers.
Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of the Hockey Writers Inc. As always, I'm your host Lance Green, and my good buddy here is Steel. How you doing, Steel?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm ready to get going on this episode. What is it?
Yeah.
94, you said?
Yeah,
all right,
buddy.
94.
You ready to go, huh? Chomping at the
ready.
bit a little bit at this?
You know, it's exciting times. You know,
It is.
guys are getting back out on the ice. Camps getting ready to start. So rookie camp anyway. So
yeah, buddy.
New year, new expectations with a new coach, maybe.
New optimism, maybe.
I don't think there's not.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
We tried. Yeah, we tried. That lasted for. Dang, we got about 50 seconds in.
We tried.
Woo! All right, 50 seconds in, we got some anyway, but episode number 94 here on the Hockey Writers Inc. and Flyers Training Camp. What expectations are this season? So, Lance, we got a lot to talk about because just like you said at the top of the show, there's new optimism, there's new cautious optimism. There's a new coach, there's some fresh blood, there's some old blood, there's some different blood, you know what I mean? And we're going to get into a bunch of things here that I think we should cover and talk about for sure. What do you think?
I think so. So.
You think so? All right, cool. So, first of all, we
Yes.
would like to thank Spreaker for all their great help and all the great things that they do to allow you to listen to us. Right? Did you see how I
saw that, yeah.
You saw that? Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is go to your favorite podcasting platform, type in Hockey Writers Inc., and guess what? We'll pop up. We'll be on Apple or Google or Spotify or Amazon or iHeartRadio. You name it, we'll be there. All you have to do is type it in and search for us and find us, listen to us, like us, and if you could hit a little 5-star rating on there, that would be great. It's free. You don't have to do that and pay for any of that at all. So you
could share the show. You could tell your friends to listen to the show. Yeah.
Even better, you can tell people about the show that you enjoyed watching, and we'd really appreciate that too because it helps us bring you guys even better and more stuff. So, also another quick announcement. Website coming on Friday.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's right here. We're recording this show, and probably within the next 24 hours or so, the new webpage for SteelFlyers.com will be out there. So be looking through the announcements.
And I believe a new article from me is going to be coming out very soon when that does come out. So,
it's been
a little
that's
bit.
The catch right there. Yeah, y'all weren't expecting that. Boom. Oh yeah, a new article from the Lance Green. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you guys to feast your eyes back on the writer extraordinaire where he belongs. Out on the web for you all to read. Okay? Just making sure we're covering that, all right? Good deal. So, the rookies reported today, as we speak. As we are recording the show, the rookies reported earlier today, obviously, when it was daylight. But they reported to camp today. Okay? They've got a scrimmage 16th and 17th against New York Rangers, against their crop of
rookies and
invites
stuff.
and whatever, right? So there's a couple things I want to talk about that involves training camp. A couple things that I want to talk about that involve the invitees and things of that nature. So here's the thing that I want to get into. Just kind of, it's not really it's not only a training camp thing, but it's just kind of an interesting tidbit of a point here. A lot of injuries right now are hurting this team's development because of certain players being out. Bobby Brink being one of those players, Joel Farabee being another one of those players that are out. Okay, we don't know what's going to happen after training camp, and God forbid anything happen to the goalies.
Yeah, I mean, well, for sure, Steel, you mentioned Bobby Brink, and, he was supposed to be one of the rookies that was set to break out and really get a good start, having such a great season with Denver last year. And then Joel Farabee, he was the leading goal scorer the season before, really was looking to step up or expected to be one of those players that was going to step up and take more of a major role this season.
Take that next
step. Take that next step, given that, Giroux and everything is out. He was supposed to be a little bit older, a little bit more wiser, have a few more games under his belt and really take control of more of the offense. And now he's going to be out for a while. So
that, I think, and every show that we've done from the last 2 months, even having Jim Jackson on the show, and we all talked about the same thing, and we all focused on the fact that there were some major injuries last year and now this year, okay, that are adversely affecting the team right out of the gates.
Right.
Okay. Now we've got two really cool things that we'll get into in here in just a second, but I did want to touch on that fact that those two players are major injuries and are going to be out for extended periods of time. At least Bobby Brink will be. Joel Farabee is expected to only miss about a month-ish or so of the season.
Still a lot of games, for sure.
Look, I'm not saying it's not a short time, but considering Bobby Brink's going to be 5-6
significantly
months,
less, yes.
Right. Okay, that's all I wanted to cover. Now, the flip side of that coin, right? We got two players.
Some good news,
right? Hey, good news! Woohoo! Good news! Sean Couturier is skating and on the ice and doing little press conferences here's and there's, and looks like he's back to his healthy self. Let's emphasize that key word there, healthy self. Sean Couturier, healthy.
Yeah, definitely been health has been a question for him for the past 2 seasons. So, and as along with Kevin Hayes, who's supposed to be also 100% or healthier than he's been the past 2 seasons for sure. So big strides, like you said, to other players' development as well. Some of the younger players, Owen Tippett and all those players, are going to need the Couturiers and the Hayeses to be healthy so that they can help them grow, So that is a big thing when, you're skating out there with those guys. They're going to set you up. They're going to make you look better than you are. And, you really can't have that when, he was left last season stuck playing with, guys like Morgan Frost who, leave a lot to be desired anyway. So hopefully with these big players, big contract players, some of the highest paid players on the team, back in uniform, back out on the ice, instead of being in the press box with me, that's wearing a suit.
Yeah. I'd much rather see them wearing skates.
Yes. And with a stick in their hand for sure. So good good in one way and then, frustrating in others with starting the season with two of your best young guns going to be on the shelf for a while. So
exactly. And then getting two of the old guns back.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really old, but compared to
Yeah.
to the other two that are sitting out, Joel Farabee and
Sean Kevin, that was Steele that said that. So just
that's
I was be calling you old. Just to make sure
no,
that
really. It's great to see those guys back and healthy because that leadership, because those guys are now the leadership core of this team.
Yeah.
Okay, and I believe
elder statement for sure. Yeah. Veteran
that was
presence.
Lance that said that, Sean and Kevin.
Yeah.
So just to make sure you swear straight now and then. Okay, that was
More
Lance.
democratic, I think. Way to say.
Yeah. we both dip it in relatively well, don't we?
Yeah.
But it's great to see those guys back and healthy and with an attitude of, hey, let's go. Let's, like they're hopping on the train, it seems like. Right? And I think that is all good things for Philadelphia all day long, right? Because now your leadership core seems like they're buying in already right off the gates. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good with that. Now, the other thing that I have to touch on is the comment that Tortorella made. I think it was a couple days ago where he came out and said that, look, y'all better come into camp in shape, ready to work. You better bring your lunch pails and your work boots because we're going to strap it on. There's going to be a lot of skating, I bet you, and a lot of conditioning and things of that nature because he's trying to weed the guys out. And how do you weed people out? You put them through their paces and see who faces adversity and who can face the adversity and what do they do in the face of that adversity. Do they climb above it or do they sink?
Well, I think he wasn't the only one saying this stuff. I think, Cam Atkinson, who had him as a coach before, warned players of this, beforehand too. And he said, AV's camp didn't touch what Tortorella's camps look like to get you in shape and make you ready for the start of the season. So it's going to be possibly a breath of fresh air anyway, an eye-opening experience for some of these young players that have been in these lackluster Flyer camps the past couple seasons. And, might even be a rude awakening for some that it's time to be a professional and it's time to train like a professional. So
that is exactly the checkbox I was hoping to get 4 years ago. Was a coach of that nature. If we could have gotten Tortorella back then, minus some of the attitude and whatever of Tortorella. I mean, look, you have to take the good with the bad. So there's going to be some good things that Tortorella's going to have, and there's going to be some bad things, right? So I've come to grips with the fact that you have to take the good with the bad. So the good is going to be, what good is he going to do for this team? Is he going to be able to bring this team together to be a playable team? Let's just see if we can get a playable team. Let's not even worry about playoffs. Right. Let's not even worry about contention or any of that other stuff. Let's just see if you can get these guys to play on a consistent level every single night. I want to see the want to. I want to see the desire. I want to see the guys out there trying. Not that they weren't.
Right.
I'm not saying that they weren't by any stretch of the word, but it was very palpable that you could see that there was a lot of guys just phoning it in.
Sure. Towards the end of the season, especially after AV was fired. But the one thing that John Tortorella said is he wants to make this team more competitive and tougher to play against. And I think that the Flyers, used to be one of the most tough teams to play against in the NHL, and they've gotten way away from that. So, it'll be refreshing to see if his prophecy or his vision for this team comes true.
I mean, what did they used to call that? Flyeritis? Right. Oh, sorry,
There's
Coach.
I
I can't play tonight against them Flyers. Yeah,
right.
no, I got a bum foot or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Because guys were getting crushed. I mean, the Flyers maybe not necessarily won the game, but they were winning the battles along the boards. They were winning the physical battles. They were getting the PIMs. They were getting, you know what I mean? So
what do I say? Always, if you can't beat them, you beat them up.
And we're surely going to be doing that this year, buddy, because we hired the best fighter in the league, and he's going to be around for at least the next 4 years.
Yeah, and you still retain Zach McEwen, so.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So that's the Tortorella comment. I really think this is going to be the coal shoveling into the fire this season is basically what I'm looking at it as, where you're either going to be one of the people that's picking up a shovel and helping to throw the coal into the fire to keep the train rolling.
Are you going to be jumping off?
Or you're jumping off, or you're being pushed off, or your bags are being packed and you're not going to be on the train. And I think that's exactly what Philadelphia needs. I thought they needed that a couple years ago. I thought AV was going to bring that.
Right.
And especially after he said, be an effing Flyer.
Right.
Okay, well, great. Well, first you have to be an effing coach.
I think he tried for sure. And, he had a little Tortorella in him, but he didn't have quite enough. He made guys sit out, but and wanted certain people to be on his team and stuff like that. But I don't think he had the wherewithal or the cojones to, push the issue and make management get rid of the people that he doesn't want. So that the cancers in the locker room that continually play this same old way the Flyers have been playing for the past 10 to 15 years, this lackluster, attitude and, work ethic. So
exactly. I'm not even going to touch on any of the other comments / rumors about anything that's going on in the locker room because we don't know and everything is all speculation. Okay. And so whatever happens in those closed doors happens in those closed doors. If we're privy to know that information and we're allowed to report that information, we will be sure to let you guys know, but we're not.
Yeah, haven't for some time. I used to enjoy going down to the locker room after practices or games or whatever like that. But since COVID, can't do that. Well, and I don't know if Tortorella would really let that happen, even if it was opened back up. So,
yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, the season's out and are going to be starting here directly, and for the most part, I guess things are going to be more normal. They've got some things in place, like if you test positive or, things of that nature and, what you have to do in order to get back, so that's kind of what they're doing. Or I think they've put some contingencies in because I read the NHL released out their whole protocols for the coming season. That was like, a couple weeks ago, I think they did that. But when you read down the fine print, it basically boils down to, okay, if you test positive, then you have to be out for a certain amount of time and you have to pass a certain number of, it's basically the same as what it was last year, pass a certain number of negative tests and you can be back on the team. Okay, great. Yeah, all right, great. If a team gets past a certain number of players, the league will decide on whether or not to halt games and or whatever. So they never closed the loophole. They left it wide open still like they did, which is dumb. You should say, look, if you have more than this many players, then games will be da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. That way it's the same for everybody. Instead of you making individual calls like, well, Ottawa has to have 9 guys on the list, but the Capitals only have to have 3.
Yeah.
And then they start cutting games or whatever, so I hope that they rectify that situation. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, back to Flyers. But that's hockey related, though, so, you know. My other little fly in the ointment, wrench in the works, is this. And we talked about it last show, and I believe the show before that, and it looks like the Flyers are going to go with Hart and Sandstrom as the tandem for at least the start of the season until something changes. Right?
Yeah, nothing too spectacular here to report, especially with this rookie camp invitees and roster. You got Samuel Urson that, we drafted some years back in 18, I think. And then you got 2 camp invitees. Both don't impress me at all as far as somebody they could possibly sign and be a savior for the season and come and be in a backup to Hart. I believe they had a better goaltender that they should have not left or let leave. Well, no, not Jones even the one they invited to a developmental camp, which
okay.
Yeah, that we'll actually be talking to soon enough. So, yeah.
Man. By the way.
Yes.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Is there a new show on the horizon, maybe?
I think there is. Yes. We plan to debut that or start filming that Sunday, I believe. So.
We got lots of new stuff coming out for the website and lots of new stuff coming out for the content.
Yes.
And there just might happen to be what would you call that? A prime A1 slice of prospect?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
One of the best players in his position for sure in North America for sure. So
did we just let something out about anyhow? Back to Flyers.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm afraid. No, I'm scared of this tandem going into this season because, man, if Carter Hart tweaks a wrist or a groin pops or he flexes a knee or he misses any kind of significant time, now what?
I mean, but regardless, given his numbers the past 2 years, even if he played all 82 games next season, I don't know if I would be willing to, go with who they have to back him up just because it doesn't look bright in net for sure.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Carter, yeah, you're gonna have to go ahead and play all 82 games.
Well, I think Ivan was the idea to come over, and he was a big man in the KHL and won the whole kit and caboodle and won the championship there and was one of the bright spots in the whole league, at least in net. And he was the person to come in. And once that all went sour and stuff, yeah, and what happened to him, the Flyers didn't really ever have a backup plan after that. And it's a shame because there was some goalies that could have filled that slot that they just let get away from them.
Yeah, quite easily. And we'll see. Look, if the fact that it got to this point for Ivan, if they would have just signed him back when they had the chance, the second or third time they had the chance to sign him, right? If they would have signed him like last year or at the end of last year, I think they had a chance to sign him before he signed another extension with the KHL. They had a chance to sign him, and they didn't sign him.
But he was also scared of COVID halting the season over here. So the KHL was up and running full blast already. They start their season a little earlier.
I know.
So, he went with what was safe I
But
guess,
they
at
didn't
that time.
do enough. The Flyers didn't do enough to entice him because he was already making millions of dollars at the KHL level. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? So you have to come to him and be like, yeah, we're gonna offer you 950,000 for the next 3 years, and he's just gonna go, ha, click,
Yeah.
like I would have, right? Like
Right.
what? I'm making $3 million a year here. You want me to come over there and make not even $1 million for the next 3 years? No, I don't think so. So they didn't do enough to want him to come over here.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is one of the many mistakes made by the Flyers organization. That if they would have signed him or at least got him on this side of the pond, because it's a whole lot harder to nab somebody when they over here.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, exactly. And, for so many years, like we said, they just kept going back to the old, whatever,
Alex Lyon,
and,
whatever,
and
whatever.
the same prospects, the Martin Joneses, Brian Elliott's, guys that, hey, they've been in the league and they could serve a purpose for a year, but you have a stellar young goaltender that was just sitting over there for years and not giving him his chance. It was totally wrong. Yeah.
Never tried to even remotely try to get him over here at all. You just his contract was up in the KHL and it didn't even phase. It didn't seem like it phased anybody. There was no reports of them making a call saying, hey, here's our offer.
But you definitely didn't hear anything before this season, for sure. You heard rumors that they might sign him and all this other stuff this year, but prior to that, no, you didn't. So.
Okay. So that covers the first part of the talking points. And there's some good news going into camp, and of course, there's some not so great news going into camp. So here's the other thing that's going into camp now, okay? Because the rookies reported today, right?
Yeah.
Earlier today, they reported to the training center in Voorhees. And they play a scrimmage against the New York Rangers on the 16th and the 17th against their rookie invites and camp invites and whatever. And then I believe that the vets report on the 18th.
I believe so. It's coming up for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a couple of games and then they,
Vets report.
Yeah.
But
they're already in town, though.
No. See, okay. So that's exactly what I wanted to say is that from what I understand and everything that we've seen, right, from all of our sources, is that almost everybody is in town.
Yeah.
And has been in town now for at least the last week or so. Right?
At least, yeah.
At least, right? To the point where we heard that a player was late to practice and there was a little kerfuffle as to, hey, well, where are you? Where were you? And so this already feels different, doesn't it?
Well, usually you'll see that with a new coach coming in, guys will want to come back and all that.
That way with AV.
No, I mean, there's guys that came in for sure, but I think after it was a lot on the players too, because they realized how bad of a season they really had last year, and they themselves want to better themselves and have a better year this year. I mean, not only, contractual wise, depending on their play, is going to depend on their pay in the future. So they want to have a rebound year for sure. And then with a new coach added into all that, yeah, they're going to want to come back early. They're going to want to get an early start and all that good stuff. So
I'm with you on that. So there's a rather lengthy list of names that have been invited to camp. And of that lengthy list of names, and we've gone through the list a little bit, and we, after you go down through the list, you go, oh, hey, I recognize that name.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I recognize that name. So, what do you think about the names on the list of rookies and invites that are reporting to camp right now, and that are more than likely going to be on that set of games for the rookie prospect games on the 16th and 17th? So, what do you think
Well,
about that list?
well, there is a couple of guys that you would expect to be on that list. You have Noah Cates, you have Tyson Forster, you have Jackson Cates, you have Wisdom, Dejournay, all guys that you would, think would be there. They're fighting for a spot, right? Um, Avon is there. He's a guy that not too many people know about really in the system. I
Yeah, I
like
like his game.
I like him. Um, Ronnie Attard is going to be there, so he said he's ready to go. He really appreciated the chance last season that he got, at least in those 10 games or so, and he really knew what was going to be expected of him coming into this season from that. Igor Zumala's been there for many years. You have a couple of guys in Zantini and Sampson on defense that are coming back, some bigger body defensemen, 6'2", 6'3".
Over 200 pounds,
Yeah, just about 200, yeah.
Yeah, right around like 201,
Right.
205,
Yeah,
whatever, yep.
whatever. So, yeah, a lot of those guys are there, but there's a couple of names of a couple of camp invites that really caught my eye.
Who
So,
might that be?
yeah. So there's the guy, Theo Rodgett. He's a center, 5'10", 160 some pounds, not a really big guy, but he's like 20 years old. He played in the Q.
Okay.
He had last season, he had 33 goals, 66 assists, and 99 points. He was a plus 56.
And
All right.
he's what, 5'10"?
5'10", yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm battling a cold.
Okay. And 5'10", and
Yeah. So he was playing under, Patrick Waugh, there with the
okay.
Ramparts.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so good tutelage there. I like this guy. His numbers jump off the page. He is an overager playing in the queue, so there's that. You can't judge it. His numbers, too bad with that, but definitely a guy to watch, I would say. I kind of like him.
Is there another
That
name?
there is. Then there's Jacob Gosher, 21-year-old kid, a center, which I like. 6'3", got some size on him, 185 pounds. Was playing in the queue as well. Both these players were captains of their teams last year, which is interesting. And he played in 66 games, 35 goals, 33 assists for 68 points, and was a plus 13. So big,
Plus
big
13
body guy.
and a point per game player and a captain.
Yeah, both
Right? And
players.
size.
Yeah, with size. So somebody to watch out for sure. I like the fact that they brought in a couple of centers because I think, our bottom two are, depending on where Lawton plays, wing or center, I think that leave a lot to be desired. So, it's nice to see a couple of players. Maybe they don't even sign a deal or whatever like that, but at least you're giving a couple one big body center and another scoring center a chance,
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
just two guys to look out for in the next couple days for sure.
Exactly. Well, dude, I really think those are some really exciting names as well, along with the attendees. But so there's a few attendees that I didn't hear,
Uh,
and I have to be honest with you, I'm a little shocked. No, I'm a lot shocked.
yeah.
In no way, shape, or form am I seeing Cutter's name associated. Cutter Gauthier, our 5th overall draft pick for this past year.
Right.
I haven't seen his name attached to anything Flyers.
Well, I mean, he was here for developmental camp, but it just shows, they must have already sent him back to, the NCAAs and let him get started in, college and school and everything else. So it sucks because me personally would want to see the guy at least play 10 games in the NHL this year.
Camp.
Yeah. Get the experience and then send them back to the NCAAs. But it's obviously a process that the guys have, and maybe they're willing to tank a year and redshirt him, if you will, let him sit out for a year and then sign him next year.
Okay, I mean, I get that philosophy. I do. But what? I mean, the college season started? I don't think the college season.
I don't think they.
Yet.
No, they haven't started yet. But
right.
they're getting ready to ramp up. Obviously, he's got school to think about too. He's already said he's attending school and and all that. And I mean, plus it leaves the Flyers open for Connor Bednard, and fighting for a top spot in the draft next year. So somebody for Cutter to play with in the future.
Okay, this is the other elephant in the room here, because I'm going to talk about one of them. And I like the fact that everybody's here in camp and everything like that, and they have been here for a little while. The elephant in the room, though, and that's Ryan Ellis. Now, we talked about injuries at the beginning of the show,
right?
As the first talking point, but I think this whole Ryan Ellis thing is gonna finally come to a boiled head here, I think, at some point in the very, very near future. I think it almost has to.
It's a tough situation. I mean, it's going to be a tough sell if you try to trade him. You can't really blame the guy for if he's hurt, just sitting out and still collecting millions of dollars of a paycheck,
A la Michael Rafferty, the list of guys that the Flyers have just let sit and pay them anyway.
Right.
Because I don't think and everything that I've heard is that it's not just the one thing that's wrong with Ellis, it's a multiple set of things. That are wrong with him. So, okay. Now I'm going to get a little bit personal here.
All right.
Okay. I'm dealing with a bad ankle. Okay. And I've had already 3 surgeries on this ankle. Okay. And I'm probably looking at least another 1 or 2. Right? Okay. Right. Now, I am not a professional athlete. Okay. But I have other underlying conditions that are going on with this leg, meaning I've had my knee replaced. But you have to fix the underlying thing first before you can fix the thing that's really the problem. You see, just because the gear is a little squeaky here, that's not necessarily where the problem is. See, the problem might be back over here to this other set of things. So here's what my concern is. Here's what my question is. Here's why I'm saying this. Why hasn't this been addressed? Why? I mean, if you medically, you still have to do things in stages medically. You get one little area fixed, that heals. Then you get the next little area fixed, that heals. You get the next little area fixed, that heals. You get what I'm saying. So what is the deal here? Why do we keep getting the spin around with this guy? I mean, I don't think he's ever going to suit up for the Flyers, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of speculation for sure. There's a lot of speculation. if he, let alone with the Flyers, but ever play again.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and it's a tough call, and I've said it on here many times before. I questioned the, it looked great the day of until you really start peeling back the levels of everything, and looking into the medical chart and looking through his history. And I mean, the guy's played in the league a long time, but he's only had one season where he finished the season playing all 82 games. One season. So, and if a guy has ever been labeled injury prone, it would be, easy to slap that on this guy. And you went out of necessity to find a right hand shot first pairing defenseman to play with Provorov. And, that's great that they were able to do that, but why do you think he was on the market? If that kind of prize does not come around so easily, and definitely not for the broken sticks and bag of pucks that they gave Nashville for him. So in failed prospects that they did. So
well, plus the fact that he's what 6'5", 6.5 on the books.
Yes, and well, and you gotta, and then they had to go out and find a replacement and pay him $5 million.
So no, they didn't.
Right.
They did not have to pay him that kind of money.
No, they did not. No, they did not. But they went out and brought another guy in D'Angelo, and as much as I like him, I don't know if I would have gave him the kind of money that they did.
The same thing with bringing in Nick DeSalros.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You already got McEwen on.
Right.
You already got Ristolainen on. You already got guys that are intimidating, guys that are going to prevent any of that kind of stuff going on. Why are you wasting the... Hey, man. That's why I sit on this side of things. That's why I do these things here. And anyway, so... whatever. I'm a little shocked, though, of not seeing those names not included on the list of rookie invites, and that's Cutter, Gauthier, and Bump, and Kaplan. I would have thought that they would have at least got... I mean, they went to the development camp. No? All three of them?
Yeah, they were all there at the development camp for sure. So, I don't know. It's definitely tough. I
don't get it. Because now I'm seeing reports of Frost playing well in camp or turning heads in camp or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, great. Where's this been? I'm just not looking at Frost as the next coming of anything.
No. And no, and I've been a big doubter of his for a long time, and I've caught a lot of flack from that in the past, but I believe people are starting to see what I've seen for years. Do I hope he comes in and has a great camp and takes the NHL by storm? Yeah, great. Prove me wrong.
Please.
But to this point he hasn't. Right. And every year you hear propaganda press, I would say, about, oh, he looks great in camp and he looks great. But what has he done the past couple of years when the games count? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. So let's see it. Make me eat crow, please. Morgan.
Yeah, that's a great way to put that, because look, I don't even know how this is the best way I can explain this. Because of the passion that we have for this team, not just as fans. Okay, when you step back and you take off the fan helmet and put it down and you look at this stuff from the numbers, that's why it makes it so frustrating, because now I'm a fan and I'm looking at all this bad news. Right? And this is not getting any better. You flip the page over and it's like, oh, these are the goalies?
Yeah.
Oh, these are the camp invites? Oh. Wow, these are the guys you brought in for free agents? Oh. Ooh. So that's why it's a whole different ball game when you look at things from a completely different perspective. And I just want to make sure that, you know, I think that's one of the unique things that we do bring to this show is that we have a fan's perspective to a certain degree because we care about this team. We have such great passion for this team. We want to see this team win. We want to see the parades. We want to see all the great players come back and be like, hey, the 70 cup winning team comes back to congratulate the new cup winning team and blah blah blah, and I'm down. Send me there. I'm cool. Let's go. I'll
Right.
climb the statue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just not seeing that kind of enthusiasm. I'm not seeing that kind of stuff when I look at the numbers. When I break it down and you look at the tape doesn't lie. Ron Jaworski always says the tape don't lie.
Right.
And it really don't. Okay, when you break this stuff down and you look at the numbers, it's ugly.
Yeah, it's scary almost to see what we have and what could have been, and all the factors with everything, and this camp roster for one is just I know it's all rookies right now, but it's not like camp rosters before that we would have been getting more excited about, for sure, with bigger names. A lot of these guys are 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. There's nobody on there, a first or second pick, that's, blowing you away and you're excited to see, and you're going to go skip work for the next day and go watch because you're excited about this player. I don't see anybody like that. I expected more out of Elliot Dejournay in the World Juniors, and he kind of let us down. Tyson Forrester looks better than he did, but for the past 2 seasons, he's played at least a part in the AHL and really hasn't taken off to as of yet.
And I don't think you're going to see Emile Andre even do that either.
No, I mean, he's not even on the rookie camp list, is he? So he's not here. He's already set to go back and play again over in the SHL. So
who's running this?
Yeah.
Who's putting this list together? Like, we need to talk to that people.
I mean, the Flyers, we've said it before, can't really develop their own talent, so I guess they're keeping them elsewhere until they are ready to come over and join the Flyers. I don't know.
You know that old meme that shows the picture of a certain captain from a certain starship just doing this? That's kind of how I feel. I mean, okay. Please prove us wrong, Flyers. Please make us eat crow. Please make us come on air and apologize.
I'll gladly do it, yeah.
Do it! Oh my gosh! You have no idea. I would be more than humbled and glad to come out here and say, look, hey man, I was wrong. Okay? I was completely wrong about my analysis. I was completely wrong about what I said of the team, and whatever Kool-Aid you need me to drink, okay, whatever. But I'm just, until that happens, I have to call it the way I see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, you know what I mean? Okay. Do you think this smacks of a rebuild or a retool?
Neither. I think it smacks of tanking.
You think it smacks of a Bednard, right? Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think that's what they're shooting for at this point, and I would be fine with that if you come out and say that. We've said that before too.
Yeah. Well,
come out and tell us the truth. Say, hey, we're going to be working on this team and, revamping it for a few years, and we may lose some games here, but we have a plan moving forward. You know what I mean? Like,
Do
hey,
you think that
all the great teams have lost a
I
lot of
understand?
games and to gain the, Connor McDavids of the league and the Leon Draisaitl's, and now they're, a playoff team, even though they still need better goaltending. Um, Pittsburgh stunk for years before they got Crosby and Malkin and
Okay, I know, I get you.
Fleury, so
I get you.
I'm with it. Just tell us the truth.
But do you think that message is going to fly with this current administration? After everything that we've been through so far, and now you're going to come out and say, yeah, guys, we're going to stink for a couple years and it's going to be tough sledding and we're going to lose some games. What?
No, definitely not after sitting there and, going through every press conference and swearing that they're going to have an open checkbook and go out there and bring the best people in that they can, and then try to pawn it off on, hey, we got, Justin Braun back and we're going to win it all. Like, oh, come on, man. Tired of hearing that. Tired of seeing that same old record out there,
Yep. Prove us
Tired of the
wrong.
retreads.
Prove us wrong. Please prove us wrong. You know what I'm saying? I would love to, and it's like everybody says this, well, winning cures everything. You're right, it does. And even bad teams can still be winning and successful teams. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is all you have to do is look at some of the teams from the past and just go, okay, the team won the championship, but the guys on the team and just, you know what I mean? There was a couple of teams like that. I'm sure there had to have been. Not every single locker room is all going to be happy skippy. I've been in enough locker rooms to know.
Well, I think that, it also goes behind star power too. So many good teams. Yes, the Flyers teams of old may have, 6, 7 guys. One season we had 20 goals that all had 20 goals. But who's that star player this year? Who's that star talent that is going to take a hold of things when they're down by a goal and really drive the puck and go out there and be dependent on to score a goal in those key situations? I mean, I really can't name one that's a star player that's going to do that for this team. And
Nope.
Looking across the NHL, whoever you think the best player is on this team right now, I think at least 28 other teams in the NHL have a better guy they could name than the best we could put out there. At least one guy that I'd rather have than that guy.
That's interesting that you say that because, wow, if I just kind of do a quick little scan of my remembrance of the rosters on most of all the other teams, with the exception of a couple of teams, you know what I mean? The
Arizona or somebody like that.
The
right?
Arizonas, the New Jersey's a little bit more on the back step now than what we thought they were. The Islanders are kind of, I think they've kind of dropped down to where they're at our level now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's not too many teams that you can say, like,
right,
best player for best player, just one off the roster, and too many people would pick the Flyers' best player off of against anybody else's.
So let me ask you this question.
Even the Islanders, I'd rather have Benzel or whatever,
right.
So somebody.
Everybody's got to send a representative to the All-Star game.
Who the Flyers going to go?
Yeah, right. Who's going to be the representative? Scott Lawton? Will this be the year for Scott Lawton?
Send Big Nick down there. Let him drop the gloves.
Yeah.
Again. Why not?
There's no All-Star challenge for, fighting or hardest punch or any of that kind of stuff. So
most teeth knocked out with a single punch. Yeah.
Oh man, so we can't even come up with an all-star. All right, well, hey, well, what do you think, Lance? Episode 94 in the books.
I think so.
I
I'm
I think
ready to
we.
see. I'm ready
Yeah,
to see this camp get started. I'm
me
ready to
too.
see who's going to prove us wrong, who's going to shine, um, who may make the squad to start with all the injuries that we talked about earlier. So
Exactly.
there's a
That's
lot of things
a lot of
there
things going on.
to
Yeah.
look for. I'm looking to see if Cam York rather can step up and steal a spot more so than the third pairing defenseman.
See, that's an interesting point because I'm looking at the same thing. I want to see these rookie guys. I want to see these youngsters come in. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get all the youngsters that we wanted, but I want to see at least two of these youngsters make the team. At least. Or at least get a shot to play the 10 games.
Right.
Right? Because what's going to kill you if they play 9 games? If they play the 10th game, then they're part of the team.
Right.
So they play 9 games and you send them back. What? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it.
Not such a bad thing, yeah.
It's not,
At least you get an extended look at them.
Exactly. And it gives them valuable experience. It gives them, that opportunity to, hey, okay, this is what I have to work on. This is what you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So now I can go back to college, juniors, whatever, and this is what I can work on. Does that make sense? I mean, am I being crazy?
Sense. No.
Right? Okay. All right. So Lance, probably this time next show, you'll have a new article out, I bet.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. All right. We'll also have a new show, I think, too, huh?
I believe so. I'm excited for that. New venture out there. A little different from Hockey Writers Inc. So
I think you guys are gonna really enjoy what we're gonna try to do here at SteelFlyers All Sports Network. We're gonna try to put out a little something different that not a lot of people are doing. It's still hockey related. We promise. We promise. And we're going to have an amazing first guest for our premiere show. We don't want to kind of let the kitty out of the bag just yet because we want to premiere all this stuff and let you guys be excited about it too. So tease. Also, the new website coming out here within the next, hopefully, 24 hours. That'll mean the shop will be open. You'll be able to buy Steel Flyers or Hockey Writers Inc. or Pearl of Wisdom t-shirts. Woo, can't wait for that either, too. So, and you'll also be able to see the great Lance Green's articles. Once again, the great Lance Green, writer extraordinaire, editor-in-chief, will be on the web. Yeah. Can't wait for that, right?
I'm ready.
I know. Lots of ideas. Tell the folks where we can get you and where we can find you.
So, just a couple hours even. You can see all my stuff on SteelFlyers.com. Always you can find under link the Hockey Writers Inc., but possibly more to come, like we already said. New articles postings very soon, and a whole new venture out there in a next couple of days, a new podcast. And you can catch me on Twitter at LanceGreen39.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm like so excited. I'm overjoyed. We'd like to say thank you to Spreaker for all your great help and all of the great things that you guys do, allowing us to post our great show from all the folks here at SteelFlyers All Sports Network on all of your podcasting platforms. So big thanks to Spreaker for all that. All you have to do is type in Hockey Writers Inc. on your podcasting platform. Hit those 5 stars. That helps us out, and we really appreciate it. And it's free. So please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll catch you all in the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc.
Thanks, guys.